not once during your statement to the police did you say that you and your father were trying to arrest Mr. Arbery, did you?
In the statement?
Yeah, to the police.
No, ma'am.
All right. You never told the police that you said to Mr. Arbery, you're under arrest, correct?
I did not.
Okay. In fact, you never did tell Mr. Arbery, you're under arrest for the crime of fill in the blank.
I didn't have time. I was still trying to get him to stop.
Now let's talk a bit about your attitudes towards sort of vigilantism, okay? You've posted several times on Facebook some things, and we talked about one of them in response to Kim Ballesteros, where it's like, you're playing with fire on this side of the neighborhood. Do you remember posting that?
Yes.
All right. And in response to another post about crime on the website, you responded, arm up, correct?
Was that the Ballesteros one?
July 1st, 2019, a post by Lindy Kofer. Your first response was arm up. Do you remember that? Would you like to see it?
Yes, please. I would.
Oh, I think your attorneys want to see it first.
Probably so.
I'll show it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Is that a fresh recollection that you said to arm up?
Yes, ma'am, it does.
In addition, back in January of 2019, do you recall having a Facebook conversation with a Lacey Allison Cox?
I do.
All right. And at that point, do you remember telling her about how she felt that you need to make examples out of somebody if they steal stuff, and you said, that's right, hope y'all catch the vermin.
That's correct.
All right. In addition, she was kind of worried about her father, because she said, we have had a lot of trouble with...
Object to hearsay, Your Honor. I guess this is a post connected with the witness. It's not in court.
I'll ask a better question.
Thank you.
Do you remember
I'm
Oh,
not sure
sorry.
what the context was, so to the extent it may have been hearsay, it's sustained.
Okay.
Okay, I will rephrase. Do you remember telling her that your old man is the same as her old man, which is slap crazy, old as dirt, and doesn't care about going to jail? Do you remember that?
I don't think I wrote that.
Okay. It's on the top of the second page. Take a look at that, see if that refreshes your recollection.
Top of the second?
Does that refresh your recollection about what you agreed with Ms. Cox about?
Yes, I agreed to respond to it, yes, ma'am.
All right. She said, we've had a lot of trouble with thieves. It just worries me because my daddy is slap old crazy, LOL. He's old as dirt and doesn't care about jail. And you responded, that's what this world needs more of. My old man is the same way.
I did say that, yes, ma'am.
And then the next line is, you said, hell, I'm getting that way.
I did say that.
She said, have to make an example out of somebody. You said, that's right. Hope y'all catch the vermin, correct?
I did.
So your attorney has repeatedly stated a recurring theme here for you, that when seconds count, the police are minutes away. Have you heard him say that numerous times?
I've heard him say it, yes.
Okay. Is that your statement?
It's not.
Then why is your attorney saying that?
I guess that's what he believes.
Okay. That's not what you believe.
I can agree with that, but I don't think I've said that.
I'll go ahead and pass the defendant back.
Can you read it? Briefly. You've been cross-examined a bit about why you were making certain decisions to approach or not Mr. Arbery.
Yes, sir.
Or what you thought about when he was approaching you.
That's correct.
And you've been shown your transcript, the statement that you had with Officer Nohilly. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Take a look at page 7, line 1.
Seven, line 1.
Can you recall what you said to Officer Nohilly there?
Objection. Inappropriate question. This is not a prior consistent or prior inconsistent statement at this time.
It's a rehabilitation of the witness after he's been cross-examined about his intent and why he made the decisions this day. This is a prior statement by him that is consistent with his testimony and to rehabilitate him after cross-examination. It's perfectly permissible. He's been questioned extensively, Your Honor, about what he said.
You're rehabilitating him on
Yes,
what
that's
you're
right.
claiming to be that
Yes.
statement.
What do you say, page 7, line 1?
1 to just line 1, or
Well, copy so we can make sure I limit.
or the full statement before the officer?
The first full sentence there.
Okay. Let's see.
You haven't read it out loud, or if he remembers the statement?
Yeah.
How are we doing this?
You haven't, just read it, what he said to the officer.
Well, objection at that point.
Okay.
Improper.
Do you recall what you said to the officer?
I do.
Don't read it. What did you
Okay.
say to the officer?
I told, it was, to close it down, that,
Let me do this. What date were you speaking about when you were talking to the officer?
I was speaking of February 11th, when I saw him, the first time that I encountered him.
Okay. And did you tell the officer or give the officer an impression of what you thought about Mr. Arbery at that time?
Yes, I said that when I stepped out that he was not there, he wasn't clearly there, and he reached into his pocket.
What did you mean by clearly not that Mr. Arbery clearly was not there?
The way that he was interacting with me, the way that he was reacting to just being caught creeping or lurking in the shadows to reach into a pocket and then just stay, I would say, bold, or having a brazen moment where you do that and then just go into the house, continue to do what you were doing. It was not, it was off. It just wasn't, it was
And did
strange.
you share this with Officer Nohilly a couple hours after
Yeah, I
this
did.
incident?
I did, yes, sir.
All right. If you'll go to page 9, line 3. Before you do that, at any point in time, did you try to describe Mr. Arbery's behavior as you were interpreting it on Burford Road to Officer Nohilly?
I did, yes.
Okay. And do you recall how you described his behavior?
Yes.
Okay. How did you describe it?
Funny, acting funny, clearly not there.
Okay, let me stop you. What do you mean by acting? What did you mean by acting funny?
The way that his facial expressions when I first pulled up, you know, the anger, and then not speaking, not talking at all. It wasn't like ignoring me or you know, trying to ignore me. It was just the way that he was expressing himself. He just wasn't talking. He was in an anger state, and
And what was your interpretation of that?
that he could be.
Relevance.
It goes to his
Calls for
conduct.
speculation and not relevant as to his interpretation.
I think it is relevant. It's not speculating, it's just his interpretation.
Sustained.
Did you ever indicate to Officer Nohilly that you felt something was just not right with Mr. Arbery?
I did.
Okay. Do you recall ever indicating to Officer Nohilly that you were just wanting to watch him and hope that he would continue to run past you?
Yes, I did.
Okay. You were... One second. I don't have anything further. I don't have anything further.
All right. Thank you, sir. You may step down.
Thank you, Judge.
Why don't you just go ahead and leave those there. Thank you. Not sure whose transcripts those are. So why don't you go ahead and step down. Whoever left their transcripts up there, if you go ahead and grab them. Figure out where we are, and a little early to break for lunch.
You may have a brief witness.
Why don't you-
Just give me a minute. Defense calls Lindsay Kofer.
Kofer?
Kofer, C-O-F-E-R.
Mask off.
Swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. Go ahead and have a seat.
Hi, Ms. Kofer.
Hello.
Ms. Crawford, I just want to ask you a few brief questions. If you just wouldn't mind telling us where you live,
Satilla Shores,
how long have you lived there?
since 1976.
1976. What road do you live off of?
Satilla Drive, I live on Satilla Drive.
Okay. Have you ever been involved with any of the Facebook pages associated with Satilla Shores?
Yes, I'm a member of the Satilla Shores homeowners page.
Oh, I see. And any other types of pages that involve the Exit 29 area or the Satilla Shores area?
Some time back, I was a member of the Exit 29 News Facebook page, but I elected to come off of that because I felt they were brutal,
Too much information?
rude.
Rude, oh, rude, just people being rude on social media. Yeah, okay. What kind of neighborhood is Satilla Shores, generally speaking?
A rural, pleasant neighborhood. I don't know for
That's
sure.
fair,
I don't
fair.
know really what you're looking for.
Okay. The types of people that live in the neighborhood presently and over the last couple of years?
Families, all ages. It's my impression that we have a socioeconomic mix and also ethnicity mix. It's been a pleasant place to live all these years, and a lot of families, retired people.
Very good. Do you know Travis McMichael or Greg McMichael?
No.
Okay. So I'm not going to ask you any questions about them, but I do want to ask you a couple more questions about the neighborhood and the Facebook page.
Okay.
Have you ever used the Facebook page as a source to get information about crime in the neighborhood?
As I observe the Facebook page, there are many kinds of information we see, and often there would be reports of utility issues or crime issues as someone reported them according to their opinion.
Did you get a sense that what you were reading on the Facebook page about crime specifically, who was reporting about crime on the Facebook page?
Residents.
Okay. Did you get a sense about what kind of crime was happening in your neighborhood?
Based on what I saw on Facebook for the Satilla Shores,
I'm going to object at this point to hearsay from Facebook unless this witness has personal knowledge of actual crime.
Do you have personal knowledge of actual crime?
I do not.
Okay. Did you use the Facebook page, though, to learn about whether crime had been committed in your neighborhood?
Yes.
Okay. Did you at all try to pay attention to the type of crime so that you could try to make decisions about how you might need to protect yourself from crime?
And objection, Your Honor. This witness has testified that she does not know any of these defendants, so we would object to her testimony as irrelevant at this point.
She's being offered as a resident in the neighborhood where she's learning through Facebook about things that are ongoing and how it's impacted her.
That's sustained. I mean, she's already testified to what her opinions were of Facebook. She doesn't know the defendants, doesn't know anything about what social media they would have been engaged in. So we're not just talking about what her knowledge of crime in the neighborhood may have been. It's sustained.
Did you post on Facebook after reading things from people about crime?
I think once or twice I did.
Why did you do that?
I don't know if there's a reason why anybody posts on Facebook. I don't know.
Did you ever be...
Judge, I would renew my objection to this line of questioning as irrelevant, Judge.
You take it further and
Yeah.
then.
Do you recall making statements about trying to help catch the people who were committing crimes in the neighborhood by hiding in a car and surprising them?
There was one time, there was a remark, something on Facebook about the activity that someone was reporting
Right.
of what took place in the neighborhood. And I think I said on Facebook one time something about they had said people were breaking into vehicles. What I read was they said that.
Right.
And then I said something to the effect of, wouldn't it be funny if someone hid in a car and surprised them?
Right. Did you share posts on Facebook yourself about crime happening in the neighborhood as a way to be a good neighbor?
Yes.
Okay.
Not my own experience,
own,
but
that's fine.
shared someone else's.
Fair enough. And did you post on this account to help neighbors understand about some of the crime that was going on, not just in the area, but also in Satilla Shores?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Did you post on the Satilla Shores Facebook page to also notify other neighbors about crime that had been happening in Satilla Shores?
Yes.
Objection deleted, Your Honor.
Well, yeah, let's keep her on direct.
Did you become aware of some squatters or individuals living under the bridge near Satilla Shores?
Yes, one.
One, did you make some comments about that on Facebook as well, or discuss that with neighbors? Do you
I think
recall?
on Facebook, I made a remark when someone said something about people they didn't recognize being in the neighborhood and things coming up missing, that I had made a remark it could have been someone, I knew someone was living under the bridge, because as I went by boat, I saw trash and I saw a person there under the bridge living there. And I thought it was possible someone had come off the highway and come into our neighborhood, since it's a county road.
And do you own a firearm?
I do.
Do you have a carry permit?
No, mine's expired since COVID.
Ah, okay. All right. One moment, ma'am. I'm just.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you passed the witness. Yeah, no, I don't. I thought you passed the witness. I'm sorry.
My apologies, Ms. Cofer. Just give me one moment. That's all I have. Thank you. They may have a question for you.
Just briefly, Judge. Hi, Ms. Cofer.
Hello.
My name is Larissa Olivier. I'm one of the prosecutors on the case, okay? I just have a couple questions for you. Were you personally the victim of any crime?
Not in over 30 years,
In over 30 years, and you were living in Satilla Shores for how long?
since 1976.
Okay, so since then, you're not personally a victim of any crime, right?
Well, since 1976 I was, but it's been more than 30 years ago
Okay,
that I was a victim of any crime.
okay. Do you believe that someone stealing is deserving of death penalty, Mr. Cofer?
Relevance, Your Honor.
I'll withdraw the question, Judge.
You've got a motion to make at this point.
I mean,
Finish the examination of the witness.
we're done.
That's all I have for Ms. Coker. Thank you.
Ma'am, you can go ahead and sit down. I'm sorry. I'm going to go any regret.
No, thank
You can
you.
go ahead and sit down. Thank you, ma'am. You can go ahead and step down. Is she subject to recall?
She is not subject to recall.
Thank you, ma'am. You are excused. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're to get breaking point for lunch. We will, let's recess for an hour. We'll plan to get back to the evidence at 12:45. Again, during the recess, do not discuss this case amongst yourselves. Enjoy your lunch, and we'll see you in an hour. Thank you.
It's all right for the jury. Please be seated.
Your Honor, I have a motion. Thank you. I would ask the court on behalf of Greg McMichael that the jury be brought back in after lunch, that in front of the jury, Miss Olivier be admonished for asking a question that she knew or certainly ought to have known was impermissible, as was clear by the fact that she made no attempt to defend it. And number two, that the jury be instructed to disregard that question and whatever feelings it might have made them have. And I will state for the record, because we don't have daily reports coming out, that the question was, do you believe that someone stealing is deserving of the death penalty? It's inappropriate, it's incendiary, it's prejudicial, it's improper, and we ask that she be sanctioned in front of the jury for having done that in any case, but in such a serious case.
We join you.
Your Honor, I'd join in that motion, and if I can have the lunch recess to confer with counsel without waiving the issue, I don't understand why we're not moving why there wasn't a motion for a mistrial. I don't know how you cure that, but given all the time that we've put into this trial, and I'm talking about everybody in the judicial system, before making that motion, if the court will allow me, I'd like to have the lunch break to confer. Maybe there's something I'm missing here, that's not the appropriate thing to ask for. But if I have to do it now or lose it, then I'm going to move for a mistrial.
How about this? You've reserved it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And state before we recess.
Just note for the record that Juror 12 paid attention fully, was totally engaged, and absolutely no issues with Juror 12 during this period.
Watching Juror 12, and that accurately reflects the court's observations of Juror number 12 also during the...
Your Honor, I'm having trouble hearing you.
That accurately reflects the court's observations of Juror number 12 during the second half of the morning's proceedings. All right, we are in recess for an hour. I will take the matter under advisement. At some point, I would like to hear from the state on that question. Maybe we'll do it when we come back after lunch.
Your Honor, without pushing the court, I would ask that if the court wishes to hear from the state, from the prosecutor who made that remark, that she be asked to respond to it now, just as we needed to provide this request at the moment that it happened and contemporaneous with the error.
Fair enough. Anything from the state?
Your Honor, I'm not sure what you're asking.
Why you asked that question?
That the question, what do you believe someone who steals is subject to the death penalty?
Yes, Your Honor. I believed it was an appropriate question for Ms. Kofer, given that I had her on cross-examination. I thought it was an appropriate question.
Matters under advisement. We are in recess.
Here I am, bro. Here I am.
Everybody, make a way, make a way, make a way.
We're not making no statements right now. Hey, have it recessed yet? Yeah. Okay, so they resume at 1 o'clock?
Right, that's true. We could get something started.
Second now?
No, right here.
12 to black. Let me get that.
Okay. Let me make sure that's done.
Hey, Rachel, they just recessed at 12:50, so they go back at 1:50. So hopefully you guys are here. How far out are you guys? Okay, I'll just give you an update. They just recessed at 12:50. Okay, we'll let Rev know. Yes, I'm here. Hello? No, from 12:50. They book at 12:50 and they have to return back at 1:50. You're breaking up. Say it again. No. Listen.
Who from these banks talking?
Listen, they broke at 1 o'clock. They have to be back in the courtroom. Hello? Hello? No. They only get an hour break. They broke. Okay, they get an hour break.
Okay, excuse me, everybody.
I'm sorry?
All right, excuse me, everybody. Excuse me, everybody.
Okay.
Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson Sr. wants to make a statement. No.
Can you talk to the
Excuse me! The press conference will start here when Reverend Sharpton arrives and the family.
Not before.
That's when it will start here. We're waiting. Reverend Jackson has been made aware of that, and the press conference will start here when Reverend Sharpton and the family arrive. That's when the press conference will begin at these microphones. When Reverend Sharpton and the family arrive, it will not begin before that. We're looking at possibly in another 30 minutes. That's when the press conference will begin. Thank you so much for your cooperation.
Thank you, Tony.